הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. Whew, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I have to fix this mat. Okay, how are you doing? Nice and full of fried food and pasta salad. What else? Apple slices. Pears, sorry. I don't know. All right. Pancake, well, potato pancakes. You know. All right. Well, great. I'm so glad that we had that time to have some savory Hanukkah treats together, a little belatedly. And so to open up our service now, I'd like to invite up any parents or guardians of the religious school children here present tonight to light the candle and say the blessing on page 120. Oh, one went out. Did that happen to you last time too? All right.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu v'lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you. All right, you three monkeys down there, tell me what you're grateful for. What are you grateful for? Yes, Naomi.
We get 2 weeks of new school.
2 weeks of new school. Victoria, what are you? I think some adults are grateful for that too. Okay, what else?
I'm also grateful for you, my family, food,
What about
clothes, and
Jojo Siwa.
And yes, and Victoria.
All right, Victoria, what are you grateful for?
You?
Me. How about Mommy and Uncle Carrie? All right, Kyle, what are you grateful for?
Our service tonight.
Our service tonight.
My class had a party.
Your parents had a party?
My class.
Oh, your class.
And the food we've been eating tonight.
And the what?
Food we've been eating.
Oh, the food we've been eating. Yes, I am also.
My daddy's not here.
Okay.
You're not here.
You guys.
Oh, when we're grateful for all of everyone else here tonight. I'm grateful for Miss Amanda and Mr. Howard who made the latkes, and I'm grateful for Miss Bev and Mr. Ethan and Anthony, Misters Ethan and Anthony, who set up tonight, who opened up the building and all that. I'm grateful to Mr. Ben and Miss Kathy, who also helped set up tonight. And I'm grateful for all of you for being here. Wonderful. Do any adults also want to share what they're grateful for?
Rabbi Mark's got the best guess.
I have the best guess?
You always do the best one on this. Say
what we're grateful for? Okay. Well, does anybody else want to share what they're grateful for?
2 weeks of no school.
2 weeks of no school. All right. Are many educators in the house? Feel grateful for that. I'm grateful for Chaim's bunny hat. And also for how cute Braden and Bryce both looked in Sarah's hat. Okay, wonderful. All right, well then, it sounds like we have so much to praise God for tonight. So let's get started with our call to worship on page 146, the Baruch Hu. And Carl, I'm told you're coming up to help lead us. Did your teachers tell you that? They're not here, so they kind of left you stranded on this one. Please prepare yourself for the Baruch Hu. Ready?
When you're ready.
Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Le'olam Va'ed. Praise Adonai, to whom all praise is due. Praise Adonai, to whom all praise is due. Praise Adonai, to whom all praise is due. Now and forever. Yai-dai, yai-dai-dai, yai-dai-dai-dai, yai-dai-dai. Yai-dai, yai-dai-dai, yai-dai-dai-dai-dai. Yai-dai, yai-dai-dai, yai-dai-dai-dai, yai-dai-dai. Yai-dai, yai-dai-dai-dai-dai. You may be seated.
A book to sing this.
Yasher koach, Carl. All right, we continue together in the English on page 148. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. On pages 152 and 153, we have the Shema. And I would like to invite up Miss Victoria to come, yes, and her teachers, to come lead us in the Shema. And I invite you to prepare yourself for these words of Torah. All right, ready? Do you remember the hand motions? I think you do. Ready? Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. You may be seated. Victoria saw my secret dreidel down here. Carl, I forgot to give you one after you led your...
You never said you had a secret dream.
Well, it's a secret. Yes, your mom gave it. All right. You're full of good quips tonight, Carl. All right, we continue on page 154. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך ובדרך ובשכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi kamocha neder bakodesh, no ra tehilo dosefela, no ra tehilo dosefela, malechutecha ra'u v'necha bokei ayam, lifnei Moshe ze'eli, Anu ve'ameru Adonai, im lochelam ba'ed, mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi kamocha neter bakodesh, no ra tehilo dosefela, no ra tehilo dosefela. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Page 160. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 162. I'd like to invite up, hold on, Naomi to lead on page 162 for Vishamru. Ready? Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש Shabbat vayinafas v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת vayinafas Shabbat vayinafas v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. We say Yasher Koach. Yasher Koach.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. Or Kol HaKavod. Okay. Those are all the things you say when somebody does a good job leading you in prayer. Yasher Koach, Kol HaKavod, Mazel Tov. Those are all the things I can think of right now. Okay. Now we come to the central portion of our evening prayer. The Amidah begins on page 164 and continues over the next few pages. I invite you to prepare yourself for this set of blessings. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tahilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Le'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Abraham Mezrach Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkei Chaim B'Chesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Ve'ofeh Cholim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Amidah Melech Memit U'Mechayeh, U'Matzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Atah L'Hachayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kadoshim B'chol Yom Yahalelucha Selah. Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You may be seated. And we continue together on page 174. Find favor, Adonai our God, with your people Israel, and accept their prayer in love. May the worship of your people always be acceptable. God, who is near to all who call, turn lovingly to your servants. Pour out your Spirit upon us. Let our eyes behold your loving return to Zion. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shechinato letzion. Page 178. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon, L'chol hashalom. Etov beinecha livarech et amcha Yisrael, B'chol eit uv'chol sha'a, Bishlomecha. Shalom Rav, Yisrael amcha, Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael amcha, Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. We take a moment now for silent prayer. You might use the words on pages 180 and 181 or the meditations of your own heart. Yehiyu leratzon imrei fi Imrei fi vehegion libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri v'goali v'goali. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and redeemer. We turn our thoughts now to those who are ill or injured or recovering from surgery and in need of prayers for healing. We have on our healing list Mary Kennedy, Rosalind Cantu, Mike Haug, Lori Perry, Nick Joliot, Rhoda Wessler, Rhonda Butler, Ricky Grant, Shoshana Bat Avraham, Minna and Ira Dornfeld, Juliette Oregi, Leslie White, Marilyn Frito, Anna Parias, Frank Lerner, John Solomon, Ann Cohen, Charlotte Birch, Anita Ash, Joseph Matter, Daryl Swan, Doris Hudson Trujillo, Susan Smith, Mary Lou Manzelli, Kevin Kossoff, Devin Kennedy, Herb Leventhal, Kai Bean, Gail O'Neill, Rachel Hofford, Bruce Berg, Patty Bergeron, and Debbie Bruce. If anyone else has a name they'd like to share at this time. The Mishaberach is on page 371, and we hold in our hearts all those in need of healing of mind, body, and spirit. Mishaberach avotenu mekor habracha le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. All right, and now, in lieu of a sermon or Devar Torah, I would like to read to you the key from Spain. So yes, our students, if you would like to come closer so that you can see the pictures, please do so. This book is about Flori Jagoda. I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce this name. And I believe we just passed her first yard site. She died sometime during this, time has lost all meaning, but sometime since we've been in quarantine. And she really was the most famous singer in Ladino music. Anything that's been recorded in Ladino, she recorded it. Long ago, in a place called Al-Andalus, in the land of Spain. There was a time of dazzling music and science, art and poetry, map-making and mathematics, and harmony among Muslims, Jews, and Christians. Do you guys want to come maybe sit up here then? In the chairs where you can see better? And I'll do this. Okay. I can't move too back. Okay. I'll turn a lot. You can, my microphone works. Many years passed. New rulers conquered the land. A new king and queen said to the Jews, "You are not welcome here. Leave." Jewish families had to leave Spain. The Altaras family was one of them. Okay, so you want to see the pictures? Okay, got a lot of action going on behind me. The Altarases journeyed first to Turkey, then to Bosnia, always carrying two precious possessions with them. One was very little, a key. The other was very big, yet took up no space at all, Ladino. Ladino, the language of the Sephardim, the Jews from Spain. Ladino, a language made from many languages, from Spanish and Hebrew and Arabic. Ladino, the language the Sephardim spoke at home. In the tiny mountain village of Vlasenica, probably in Bosnian. I don't speak very good Bosnian. The Altarases lived again in harmony. They became a large family with a nonna and a nonu and tias and uncles and cousins, more than 50 members of them all, including a girl named Flory. She grew up with Jewish, Muslim, and Christian friends, with people of all different faiths living and working side by side like her ancestors before her. Flory and her family spoke Ladino at home and Bosnian in the village. They sang and sang and sang and sang and sang in both languages. No village celebration was complete without the singing Altarases family, making music into the wee hours, Sephardic and Bosnian melodies, voices trilling, hands clapping, guitars, mandolins, and tamburitsas, and tambourines pulsing the rhythms, songs filling the sky. Music filled Flory's heart. Oh, did you get it? Nonna filled Flory's heart too, not only with her songs and guitar playing and kitchen drawer overflowing with pages of music, but also with traditions, kissing the mezuzah, lighting candles in times of trouble and times of prayer, sewing linens for brides-to-be. And every Friday before Shabbat, Nonna gave Flory and her cousins baskets filled with food to take to neighbors in need. Tzedakah. Don't wait for them to say thank you, Nonna said. We are fortunate that we can give to them. In Nonna's house, the little key, La Llave de España, watched over the family. Do you see the key, Braden? Nonna told Flory its story. Many centuries ago, our ancestors had no choice but to leave the country they loved. They could not take much with them, but they did take the key to their home. That key on the wall opens the door to a beautiful house in Spain. One day, the Altarases will return, find the house, open the door, and be home once again. Flori loved the story, but she didn't want to be the Altaras that returned to Spain because she never wanted to leave Vlasenica. But her parents wanted to leave. They liked the big city. Goodbye Village. Zagreb in Croatia had a brand new, beautiful school. Music lessons, art, ballet, gymnastics, theater. But it did not have a nona or a nonu or tias, uncles, cousins, friends, Shabbat baskets. It didn't have the songs that Flori knew. She missed Vlasenica. Her father saw her sorrow and brought her a harmonica. Flori played the songs of her nona. They helped her feel closer to home. A terrible war came, the Second World War. Life became dangerous, especially for Jews. Flori's parents wanted her to be safe, and to be safe, she needed to leave Zagreb. They got her a train ticket to another city called Split. They would follow, they promised, on another train, another day. It was too risky for 3 Jews to travel together. Florica, her father said, "From the minute you sit in that train compartment, do not speak." He feared Flori might say something in Ladino revealing that she was Jewish. Just play your harmoniku. Flori took off the badge that all Jews had to wear and walked to the station, pretending to be an ordinary girl, a non-Jewish girl, going on a trip. She played and played every song she knew, Bosnian, Croatian, but not a word of Ladino. The compartment filled with people joining together to sing, all believing Flori was one of them. Such a jolly journey for everyone else. Flori hugged her harmoniku close, and it saved her. Flori reached the seaside city of Split, and her parents soon joined her. They lived as refugees without a home, not knowing what would happen to them, not knowing what happened to those left behind in Vlasenica. And when the fighting finally ended, Flori and her parents learned that the war had taken nearly everyone they loved. Like her ancestors who fled Spain, Flori sailed away. Unlike her ancestors, Flori carried no little key. Not from Spain and not from Vlasenica. Those keys were lost in the war. But Flori carried 3 other precious possessions. 1 was her harmoniku, 2, Ladino, and 3, bigger than everything yet taking up no space at all, music. She was Flori Jagoda now, an American with an American husband and family. Her family could never meet her nona or hear the singing Altaras family, but Flori could share their music. She did have a key after all, and with this key of music, she unlocked the door to that past life and all those beloved people across the ocean and across the years. Flori brought her music to the people everywhere, across the country and the world, on stages, in schools, in homes, playing guitar as her nona played guitar. She could take audiences through the streets of her village. Show them the roses in the windows. Seat them at her tia's Passover tables, and even imagine a house in Spain, waiting, forever waiting, for an Alteras to return. The end. Brayden. One for your brother too, okay? All right, now we turn to our concluding prayers. The Aleinu is on page 586, and I would like to ask Mr. Ben, oh, good timing, up to accompany me here. And I invite everyone else to prepare for the ark to be open. 586. Don't go ahead. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gdula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goy haratzot, Below samanu kamishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkenu kaham, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. V'namar v'ha'adonai, Lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yihye Adonai echad, ushemo echad. You may be seated. And now we turn our thoughts to those who are no longer with us in body, but remain with us in spirit. This week marks a yahrzeit for Nathan Milgram, Marvin Kurfürst, Pauline Wessler, and Bernard Strassner. We won't have services together the next 2 weeks, so I'm going to read next week's as well. And then when we come back in January, I'll read the week we missed as well. So next week marks a yahrzeit for Mary Rosenfeld, Boris Daniels, Dorothy Noren Salinger, Charles Lefkowitz, Eugene Grinstead, Solomon Strick, Lori Cheryl Cartel, Edward Pearlstein, Sylvia Berkowitz, John Nabozny, and Anne O'Neill. And we are still within the year of mourning for Bruce Schechter, Ruth Sherman, Louis Aaron Honig, Jean Sullivan, Carolyn Rubel Magrum, David Nemero, Tom Lombard, Marion Finkel, Steve McGrew, Herbert Levy, Lynn Steffen, Gary Sullivan, Debbie Taylor Wright, Mark Anderson, and Samuel Fallis. And if anyone else has a name they'd like to add, please do so. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 598. Mourners and those who wish to join them may rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah be'alma divrach hiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'it hadar, v'it ale, v'it halal, shemei d'kudasha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. You may be seated. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom alenu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. 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 V'imru. Amen. Just a few announcements real quick. So we're winding down for winter break. Things are quiet here at the temple as well. I know a lot of families travel and everything. So we're not going to have Shabbat services the next 2 Fridays. We do have religious school this Sunday and on January 2nd, but not the Sunday in between. There is Torah Study this Monday. It's our last session of this run until TBD. This Monday at noon on Zoom. And the following Wednesday, December 29th at 10:30 on Zoom is our book club meeting for this month. Otherwise, things are quiet, but just to give you a heads up, there's a lot in the works for Tu B'Shvat in mid-January, so mark your calendars. It's Martin Luther King Day weekend, so there is no Sunday school the morning of January 16th. There is a Tu B'Shvat Seder that the children are heavily encouraged to attend, and everybody else. That's at 6 o'clock on January 16th. Immediately preceding the Seder, there is a teen outing to do some environmental cleanup for Tu B'Shvat at the Veterans Park of Muromsko Watershed. And then January 17th, which is Martin Luther King Day. I know not everybody actually has that holiday off, but it is a federal holiday. Schools are closed and such, so we are having a whole day here of tabling for various environmentally minded and like food redistributing type organizations in the county. We'll have 3 guest speakers, and it should be a really wonderful, important day of learning and service that kind of combines the important themes of Tu B'Shvat and Martin Luther King Day. So please mark your calendars for that Sunday evening and Monday day, and join us then as well. And more information will be rolling out as we get closer, but it's a big deal, guys, so mark your calendars. Okay, yes, Carl, do you have an announcement? Okay. All right, our closing song is A Tree of Life, which is the words are sort of on page 374. And if any of our religious school friends want to show off our tree poses for it. Too easy? Too easy? All right, ready?
Grandma, give us a real challenge.
Excuse me. I'll give you a real challenge when you perfect the tree pose, okay? Yeah.
Think that's a real challenge? Bro. Ready?
It is a tree of life to them that hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to them that hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Switch legs. It's Chaim, Hile, Machazikim, Bavetomcheha. Me'ushar. It's Chaim, Hile, Machazikim, Bavetomcheha. Me'ushar. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. 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 What?
Do we get a piece of ghost?
Yes. All right, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Do we get a piece of ghost now?
When we go out for Oneg. Join us for Oneg, Kiddush,